critical game ahead for him.
Here he is, Wesley. So we actually didn't mention, but they only have 5 minutes in between those two blitz games. So it is starting very quickly here now. Wesley so is ready. Does he have his plan all set up and ready, do you think, Jovanka?
Yeah, this is a little bit of a new ground for him, because I do remember when he had his big quarterfinal comeback, he actually won the tiebreaks the blitz tiebreaks quite comfortably. And so now he's kind of in a new position. He has to come from behind and he has to just win the game.
All right, and Maxime Vachier Lagrave getting some energy drink there probably to get fired up for the last blitz game. He only needs a draw here to be in the semi-final. If Wesley so wins, then we will be heading into Armageddon. All right, and as you mentioned, David, advantage for Wesley so to finish with the white game here.
Yes, so at least he knows where he stands. He knows with white, he can choose an aggressive opening. The danger is if you're 1 point down and you've got black, you just have to react. It's not easy to fight back. Wesley so he'll be going all out for the kill from move 1.
We are waiting for the first move by Wesley so, as we see in the second blitz game between Timo Rajabo and Jan Nepomniachtchi, that it looks actually very nice there for Timo Rajabo.
Yes, and we notice on the bottom there, it looks like Rajabov is winning that game. He needs to win to stay in it, and it did look like Nepomniachtchi blundered horribly. The tension must have got to him. Rajabov played a very odd opening in that game, a very unique opening, and it looks like Nepomniachtchi has panicked.
And that means probably Armageddon in that one, but first we're going to follow blitz, the second blitz game between Wesley so and Maxime Vachier Lagrave. Wesley so bouncing back and forth from his chair here, getting ready for a game he needs to win. And Maxime Vachier Lagrave looking as calm as always. His face always looks the same.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he's getting ready. He's super focused. I mean, I must admit from personal experience, he does look like he's not that interested, but he is. He is a supreme killer, and he spots those tactics like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew the French word for cucumber, because he is as cool as a cucumber. And he shows that with his opening choice. Maxime Vachier Lagrave has actually had this position in this tournament when he played Magnus Carlsen in the preliminary stage. Magnus Carlsen, okay, Wesley so has gone for something different. He captured with a different pawn on that square to Magnus Carlsen. So we see a fresh position, something a bit new. Wesley so attacking now with white, with that pawn, the corner pawn there. Harry the H pawn on the flank has already pushed itself forward. White in this position, not going for the traditional approach of occupying the centre. He's ignored the centre. Instead, he's playing on the wing. He's playing on the flank. This shows Wesley so's aggression, it shows his intentions. But the problem is for Wesley so that Maxime Vachier Lagrave is an expert in this opening as well. There's nothing new under the sun for him. He's seen this position before.
Yeah, absolutely. But what a kind of aggressive approach. I was just thinking Simon Williams here would approve, would give it a double thumbs up. The Harry the H pawn just marching forward. And Maxime Vachier Lagrave castling into White's attack.
I'm shocked by that last decision. Basically, Wesley so, he laid out his game plan very early on. He said, I'm going to attack on that right flank. I'm going to attack on that side of the board. But Maxime says, no, I don't care. I'm going to put my king on that side.
Oh, he's going for mate already.
Yeah, he's going for checkmate already, Wesley. So he's brought his queen out to the left flank, but that queen wants to zoom across all the way across to that line to swing across to the right side to checkmate the black king. Meanwhile, okay, a few developments, black occupying the centre with a pawn, and Wesley so playing a quick move there, developing his bishop.
Yes.
This one is very tense. I don't like that last move by Wesley so.
The bar doesn't like it either. Do you agree now that it's a slight advantage for Maxime here now?
Yes, but I think there is a key move. If he pushes the central pawn forward one square, he didn't find it, Maxime Vachier Lagrave. Maybe that's a good move as well. But, okay, the computer disagrees. I think black should have pushed his pawn in the centre there to attack white's knight, and that would have given black a huge advantage. Instead, he's gambiting a pawn. He's saying to Wesley, you take my pawn. And Wesley says, yes. I will accept that gift.
Well, now it happens. The pawn has been pushed, and now Wesley must move the knight. And you can, oh, I love it. That knight move into the center, an octone knight, and it's really moving towards a square that's going to be anchored by the black pawn. And it's a very dangerous check coming.
Yes, so both pieces now, both those knights, White's knight and Black's knight, they're both on very strong central squares. The difference is, though, that Maxime Vachier as Black has sacrificed a pawn. That's, I mean, that just shows his courage. The brave Frenchman just giving up a pawn when he only needs a draw. He didn't want to just play safe, control things, play solid. He was happy to gambit a pawn in order to establish a strong knight in the center. Jovanka likes that Black knight. Personally, I don't think it's too scary. I think just the fact that White is a pawn ahead, that is the big factor right now. Wesley, so that being said, does retreat his queen. So many odd decisions here, but both players playing much quicker than they did in the last game. Remember, they both got short on time and Wesley so blundered when he got under 10 seconds. That is why Wesley so he's rushing now. He's not played the best moves. White's bishop about to be kicked back. White's queen and bishop now retreating. Wesley so maybe not playing the most aggressive, ambitious chess, but will that extra pawn be a decisive factor later?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. At the minute, the extra pawn is saddled behind. It's very much jammed. So for the time being, it doesn't really count. It's more about what the pieces do. And I'm going to expect Maxime Vachier to start using his light square bishop, which at the minute isn't working. I'm expecting him to mobilize it and just ask Wesley, what are you going to do with the king?
And in the game between Timur Rajabov and Jan Nepomniachtchi, Timur Rajabov has won the second blitz game and we are heading into Armageddon there in 5 minutes. So stay tuned. And what's happening here?
Yes, meanwhile, Maxime Vachier, he's given a check with his knight. The Black knight, we loved it in the middle of the board. It's been traded off for one of White's bishops. Now look at Black's pawn. It's deep in the heart of enemy territory. It could have been captured, but Wesley so said, no, I'm going to let that pawn survive. White's queen is back on its starting square. She went on an adventure. She made a few moves, but she's back to where she came from. White now has such a strong knight in the middle of the board, but White is still a pawn ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really baffled by those last two moves. I would never have thought about that. I would have been concentrating on developing all my pieces. But yeah, queen just retreating down to its starting square. Completely unexpected.
Yeah, Maxime Vachier having a bit of a think now. He needs to improve those black pieces. He's only got long-range pieces left. He's only got the queens, the bishops, and the rooks. But so they're okay on the back rank, but they still need to be centralized. They still need to be improved. I'm looking for him to maybe move his light squared bishop, the black light squared bishop, improve that piece. It's doing nothing right now. Or maybe improve the black queen. Either way, he needs to create activity to justify his pawn sacrifice. Wesley so retreating, but we're still with aggressive intentions.
Yeah. Well, one thing that he mustn't do is he must not swap off that dark square bishop and get tempted to win material. Don't do that. You've got to focus on maximizing the light square bishop, and it has to be the light square bishop because that's the only one that's unopposed.
Yeah, so the key piece for black is that dark squared bishop next to the black king. You never want to trade it off at any cost.
No, that is, if you traded it off and you won a pawn, that would just be a disaster because suddenly your king would be so vulnerable. And Wesley, once again, he is going for mate. So he wants to attack the black king and he's trying to use that open line that is very nicely on the right side of the board.
Yeah, so White trying to bring his queen closer towards the black king. Maxime Vachier going to try and prevent that. But I love Wesley so's last move, and the computer loves that move as well, giving White a winning advantage. That pawn pushing forward, kicking away the black rook in that centralized square.
Yeah.
I think Wesley so, his attack is looking good. White on the offensive. Black's rook now, it's forced to sideline itself on the edge of the board. It's brought itself back towards the center. But we'll look at Wesley so pushing pawns forward now. It's all about the black king. He's going for that black king. He's trying to break open the defenses around it. Wesley so, this shows how good he is when he's on the attack, when he's actually trying to play chess, play for a win. This is, this is exciting stuff. Maxime Vachier maybe played the opening a bit too quickly. Maybe he should have paused for thought a bit earlier on, like he did in the last game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, David. It was a very risky choice from him. And I also agree that Maxime Vachier was actually forced to take this decision. He has to give up the rook for the knight because this attack was just too powerful. He can't afford his king being weakened.
Yeah, so black's last move, taking that pawn. White's knight can actually capture that rook right now. So that would be a big gain, a 5-point for 3-point gain. But maybe there are even stronger moves.
There's an even stronger move on the position, which has been played by Wesley. The queen is now attacking the rook and is threatening checkmate. And, now he can capture.
Yes, so White's last move with the queen, lining up the queen and the rook on the same line. There were checkmate threats. Maxime, he's parried the checkmate threats. The black king can start to run away soon. But more importantly, black is down on pieces. He's also down on position. This is looking terminal for Maxime Vachier.
Now the rook can join in. Yep, the rook has joined in. And this is bad.
Yeah, White's queen and rook there teaming up to create some threats. The black
Look
king,
at Wesley. Oh, yeah.
Armageddon time.
Nice.
It's almost a Mr. Scheibel moment here. It's like, you resign.
You resign now.
We fight it out to the bitter end.
The black king will not survive this assault. White's queen and White's rook just too strong here. Plenty of ways to win this position for Wesley. So that black king in no man's land, it will get checked right into the center of the board, and then it will get attacked even more.
Yeah, that's just, there you go. There's the first check. The king is forced out into the center, out into the open, right where it should never be. And now Wesley has to attack. Well, he has to move his rook, and there you can see it. He has moved it one square forward and is now attacking the bishop, which cannot move because otherwise White will capture the rook. And now this is all, queen, yes. And now the rook comes to defend. Ooh.
What a move by Wesley. So that bishop move, putting the bishop on on a square that looks like it's defended. That bishop can be captured twice. But no matter what, basically, Wesley, so he's overwhelmed the black defenses with that last move. The black rook was just overworked. And now he's traded off a set of bishops. He's getting closer to that black king. He's also ahead on material. Imagine he's got the attack. He's also got the material. He's got a clock advantage as well. Everything is in Wesley So's favor. Maxime Vachier Lagrave, his position is pretty much hopeless now. He has to move his queen that's attacked, but the end is nigh. All that White needs to do is maybe activate the other rook, the white rook on the left side of the board, which isn't doing too much. Activate that. That's what he does. He brings that rook into the attack as well. All of White's army, the queen and the two rooks, are going to combine to deliver checkmate. Maxime Vachier Lagrave just trying to cling on here, trying to survive as long as possible.
I guess all he can hope for then is the time's getting so dramatic that we will see some blunders, maybe also from Wesley So.
Yeah, okay, but now it's probably absolutely over because the queen and the rook, and that's it. 1-0, and we are going to go to Armageddon.
So we have Armageddon in both of the quarterfinal matches.
And we actually